The Boston Society for Architecture makes architecture accessible for everyone. Our aim is to help architects thrive and communities flourish through design. Our work in policy this year includes a partnership with Boston's Housing Innovation Lab to bring a 2-year fellow focused on how design can impact the issues of affordable housing. Our work in design education includes programs like Our Boston for kindergartners and our teen internship program in firms. In community design, we are in a partnership with the National Park Service to create a vision for a historic building in the Charlestown Navy Yard.
So Our Boston is a project we initiated with the Boston Public Schools where architects go into kindergarten classrooms. And the kindergartners are looking at their city, they're looking at their community, they're looking at their neighborhoods.
Children receive a letter from the mayor inviting them to think about what would make Boston fairer and more interesting for children.
The overall project for the class was to create a community based on a streetscape. It started off with each individual student creating a building.
They spent a lot of time brainstorming, thinking of ideas, deciding what to do.
Then we got back together as a group when everyone was done designing their building, and we talked about what they designed and where it should go along the streetscape.
It really is not too early to introduce 5-year-olds to the design process and have them start gaining some of those tools, skills, whether it be collaboration, communication, even sketching, drawing, model making.
The value of having architects come into the class is that children are exposed to real life work in a contextualized ways, meaning they are actually learning about design from designers.
And being a woman of color, I want them to be able to see themselves in this career.
The project culminates in an exhibit. And last year, when we were here in this beautiful space, the mayor came, and it really fosters children's ability to say, okay, so my work is so important, and my ideas are so important, and not only we're making these projects, but they're being exhibited in a place where actual architects work every day. And the mayor knows about our work. So exciting. So that was really spectacular.
Boston has a shortage of housing. In this moment where we're experiencing all of this growth, both in terms of population and in terms of jobs, it presents some really big challenges around where are we going to house all of these people who want to call Boston home.
At the BSA, housing and affordable housing is one of our top policy priorities that we have identified. And we're really excited to be partnering with Boston's Housing Innovation Lab to co-host a fellow, a Housing Innovation Design Fellow for the next 2 years.
I've been trained as an architect over the years and have always had an interest in policy, whether city-based, globally, and this was the perfect opportunity to really bring design and policy making and governmental work together into one.
We have envisioned 2 projects for our Housing Innovation Design Fellow to work on. One of them is reimagining our triple-decker.
I will be thinking about how the triple-decker can address the issues and scarcity of multifamily and multi-generational affordable housing in the city. What could contemporary form and type of triple-decker come into play for the city?
The other project is taking a look at city-owned vacant lots and exploring urban infill and innovative materials and methods to get at more affordable housing on city-owned property.
Having this partnership with the BSA really allows us to infuse design more intentionally into the work that we do.
For the BSA, this gives us a chance to really connect with the city and help them to reach their goals of creating more affordable housing, and it allows our membership in our organization to really elevate the impact that design can have on important issues around affordable housing.
The BSA and the National Park Service partnered to help come up with some design solutions for the historic Ropewalk building in the Charlestown Navy Yard. It's being redeveloped into private residences, and 5,000 square feet of the building has been preserved for community space. The National Park Service felt like we were the right organization to bring together all of the stakeholders.
So today we have the Boston Society of Architects here who was helping us to lead this design charrette. And working with the BSA, this is an opportunity then to bring those ideas to life, to see and imagine how they can work within this space.
So it's really trying to get this one space and see how many different uses it can be used for, while at the same time respecting and even accentuating the historic nature of the building.
So it's important to the National Park Service that the community is part of this process, so they feel ownership of the space, and also that they can contribute to what the space is used for.
I want to make sure that the voice of our students and others in the community are well represented, and make sure Navy Yard improvements an inclusive and welcoming space for everybody.
Once the 3 design teams finish charretting, those teams will create a series of drawings, site plans, renderings, and we'll all come back together, present the concepts, celebrate the work that's done, and invite the community into that process so they can see and give their feedback.
We're very grateful to have the BSA as a presence within the city of Boston. It elevates the role of architecture, the role of urban planning in the making of communities.
So the building's that way. Now move those so you can start to walk forward.
At the BSA, we really hope to encourage students to consider the field of architecture for a profession. We work with teens in a couple of different ways. One of them is our Design Thinking Day, where teens work with architecture firms for a day of design. And we also support firms hosting a high school intern for the summer.
Bergmeyer has participated in Design Thinking Day and hosting a high school intern for the last 2 years, hoping to give another avenue for students to see a potential career path that they don't necessarily see every day.
We were hoping that the students, when they left either Design Thinking Day or our summer internship, would have a better understanding of what an architect does.
With Design Thinking Day, they experience the way the firm works, but they also do a whole design project together. And then at the end, they actually present to the whole firm.
The way we approached the internship with the high school student was to not only give them exposure to design, but also give them a well-rounded office experience. We had them sit in meetings with engineers. We had them come on site so they can see the trades in action, giving them the opportunity to see so many different possible career paths, even if it's not just architecture.
I personally chose to become a mentor for our summer intern, Victor. He was so into learning about architecture. It was really inspiring to see that. I think for HMFH, after having 6 weeks with Victor, we had a better idea of how we could structure our internships in the future so that these high school students can really get a better sense of architecture.